What's good, family? What's good? It's your boy, Urban Sports Guru. I know some of y'all may think I forgot about y'all. No, I have not. I have not forgotten about y'all at all. Let me give y'all my take on these NBA Finals. It's kind of anticlimactic for me. That's why I haven't been posting about it as much. But I'm going to say this. Bucks are down 0-2. The Milwaukee Bucks are down 0-2. The intriguing thing about these finals is, as I told you before, there's no super teams in the finals. And because there's no super team in the finals, a team kind of like what Toronto was able to do when Kevin Durant got hurt a couple of years ago, a team that normally would not even be in the finals, probably wouldn't even made it to the conference finals, gets an opportunity to possibly snatch an NBA championship. Because if Brooklyn's full strength, Milwaukee doesn't make it to the finals. If LA is full strength, I don't think Phoenix makes it out the first round, as good as they are. I think they give the Lakers hell. I think they give them 7 games. But Anthony Davis is better than DeAndre Ayton. Right now, he's better than DeAndre Ayton, and it's not close. Now, moving forward, what they'll be, that's a whole nother conversation. But so you got teams getting a chance to get a bite at the apple it normally wouldn't be. And that is a good thing, because it for me, it is a reminder of what the NBA should be minus super teams. Because you don't have that dominant Chicago Bulls team. It's not a super team, but you have the best player of all time. You don't have, the stacked rosters and great players like you have with the Lakers and Celtics, basically in the finals every other year. You kind of have it now the way it would be the way it was in the 70s. This team gets an opportunity, that team gets an opportunity, that team. And every year is a roll of the dice. You don't know who's going to get there, because none of the rosters are really stacked. There's no super teams. There wasn't no super teams then. 80s didn't really have super teams that had so much loaded. They had some really good rosters. Boston has some damn good rosters. They had teams that really put their teams together well, but they weren't super teams. You didn't have 3 superstars. You know what I'm saying? Mike and those Bulls teams, they shut down a lot of motherfuckers from getting rings, because Mike's the greatest of all time. It is what it is. But ever since 2010, the super teams, it's like what it's done is guaranteed you a crack at it every single year. That's what it's done. I've always said, you have a super team, you have to do 2 things. You have to either beat another super team, or you have to have a good run. Golden State had a super team. They won 2, and probably would have won 3 in a row. Everyone believes they would have won 3 in a row if Kevin Durant didn't get hurt. But you don't have that this year. You have Milwaukee and you have Phoenix. What I like about Phoenix is the importance of Chris Paul. And I say the importance of Chris Paul because Milwaukee is one of the teams that was talked about trading him to. And a lot of people like myself didn't think that would be enough. Why? Because you're looking at that team with Chris Paul in comparison to super teams. Now, in comparison to super teams, that's not going to be enough. But in comparison to other just great, regularly constructed teams, that's more than enough. And you're seeing evidence of that now, because Chris Paul has them in the finals. That's more than enough. More than enough. And Chris Paul being in Phoenix and not in Milwaukee is one of the big things that's tilting the series. Right now, he's the MVP, hands down. And y'all have heard me speak about this for a couple of years now, the way Milwaukee is not using Giannis Antetokounmpo the right way. Why is that important? I had to really sit back and analyze and break down why. And you just got to remember the brother's history. This dude came into the league a skinny wing player. He came into the league a skinny wing player. His game has grown, but what's more has grown than anything else is his physicality, his stature. He's put on 50 pounds of muscle. So he went from being a skinny wing player to being a real power forward physically. Now, why is this important? Like, you look at the sport of boxing, look what, I think Lennox is a perfect example. You see Lennox early in his career, he was able to move and jab and things like that. Always had the big right hand. He can fight athletic, kind of be. But then you saw him at a second point in career where he got bigger. We put on that extra 20 pounds of muscle or whatever. And the thing is, he had to learn to fight big. Once he made the adjustment and started fighting big, fight like a big man, he grew a couple of inches, he fight like a big man, you saw what it done in his career. The problem with Milwaukee is that when Jason Kidd was the coach, he's the one who started it, where he put the ball in Giannis's hands to be a playmaker. I'm thinking he probably envisioned eventually Giannis would get a jump shot, which is a easy assumption, seeing the work that this kid was putting in, seeing how much his game has grown, and seeing how you doing that, and Giannis has, MVP talent, you can go far with this kid. Put the offense in his hands. But the problem is the jump shot has never materialized. And with his physical stature now, it would be so much better if you take the ball out of his hands and put him in the low block and let an actual point guard be the orchestrator of the offense. Because too often their offense is Giannis, top of the key, someone on the wing, basically charging into you full speed, and maybe he can Euro his way around you or spin move his way around you. But more likely than not, it's either going to end up in a charge or him getting the call as a blocking foul. He leads the league in charges for a reason. And the ball doesn't move the way it should. Drew Holiday isn't used correctly. Chris Middleton is hit or miss because of that. And this is why you hear people say, oh, at playoffs, they're better without Giannis. Ultimately, having a talent like that, you're better on the court. But the fact is, coaching-wise, he's not being used correctly. And he hasn't had a pure point guard be the orchestrator. But you don't need to be running the pick and roll. You need to be the roll guy. And that's coaching. That's coaching. When I look at Phoenix, everything is defined roles. And nobody steps out of character. Nobody steps out. You don't see Jay Crowder trying to run PNRs and orchestrate the offense. No, he knows his job. You don't see DeAndre Ayton trying to shoot three-pointers. No, he knows his job. Rim runs, post-ups, lobs, roll hard after screen and roll. That's his job offensively. Everybody knows their job. Jay Crowder, spot up threes, move well without the basketball, play great defense. He knows his job. Everybody knows their job. Peyton, the other point guard, comes off the bench, brings energy, brings quickness. Everybody knows their job. And the fact that you have your best player in Milwaukee not in his proper position, not being used correctly, is the reason why Phoenix is going to win this series. I think Milwaukee, because Giannis is that good, is going to make it competitive. I expect them to win tonight. The role players play different when they're at home. I expect them to win tonight. I expect them to make this a series. But ultimately, I gotta roll with Phoenix because everything is defined for them. They don't deviate. The one caveat I have with this series is this playoffs has been crazy, as you can see. And since it's been so crazy, I would not put it past something crazy happening in these finals, meaning another injury. I don't want to see that, but I don't put it past it. I don't put it past it because such crazy things have happened. And like the fact that Giannis is even playing after what we saw happen to his knee, like I need answers for that shit. But that's the one caveat that I'm really, holding my breath on. And I don't want to see it happening, but that's the one thing I'm holding my breath on. But that's my take on the NBA Finals. Let me know what you think. Hit the subscribe. It's your boy, Urban Sports Guru. I'm out. Salute.